Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
A pleasant evening and a very warm welcome to the National News Broadcast. We are coming to you live from Rupavahini's News Studios. I'm Delanjali Ananda.
I'm moving head Tiarashi, and today is the 26th of June, and here are today's headlines. The President's address with good news for the country. Sri Lanka concludes major debt restructuring agreements with official creditors. Sri Lanka signs a $4.2 billion Chinese debt restructuring deal. Many parties expressed their dissatisfaction with the teacher strike. Floods and landslides claim 71 lives in southern China, 1 million rendered homeless. Now on to those and more stories in detail. On today's top story, President Ranil Wickremesinghe addressed the nation short while ago, revealing that good news of finalizing the debt restructuring agreements with Sri Lanka's official creditors.
The President emphasized that it's a significant milestone for development of the nation.
අද අපේ රටේ මෑත ඉතිහාසයේ වැදගත් දවසක්.
In a special statement, President Ranil Wickremesinghe announced today that debt restructuring agreements were finalized with Sri Lanka's official creditors in Paris and with the Chinese Exim Bank in Beijing. He emphasized that this development is a significant milestone, bringing good news to all who cherish the country. Emphasizing the agreements with bilateral creditors bolster international trust in Sri Lanka. The President noted that the global community, which previously rejected the country's letters of credit, now offers assurances regarding Sri Lanka's credibility. In his special statement, President Ranil Wickremesinghe announced that debt restructuring agreements will postpone all bilateral loan payments to foreign countries until 2028. Additionally, Sri Lanka will have until 2043 to repay these loans on concessional terms. The President highlighted that in 2022, Sri Lanka allocated 9.2% of its GDP to foreign debt repayments. However, with ongoing efforts, this percentage is expected to decrease to less than 4.5% between 2027 and 2032, reflecting significant fiscal improvement. President Ranil Wickremesinghe highlighted that following Sri Lanka's official declaration of its inability to repay loans, all transactions and foreign funding development projects were suspended. He emphasized that the successful debt restructuring now paves the way to resume these projects and transactions. Emphasizing that agreements with bilateral creditors bolster international trust in Sri Lanka, the President noted that the global community, which previously rejected the country's letters of credit, now offers assurances regarding Sri Lanka's credibility. In his special statement, President Ranil Wickremesinghe noted that the Prime Minister will present these agreements to Parliament on July 2nd, and the President urged all patriotic MPs to ratify them. In his special statement, President Ranil Wickremesinghe expressed gratitude to all parties involved, including ministers, officials and the majority of the people who patiently supported the country through challenging times. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has stated that while a few are trying to disrupt the country's progress, they will one day have to face shame before their children for betraying their nation. The President noted that as the country's economic conditions improved, relief was provided to the people. He emphasized that continuing on the correct path to strengthen the economy can further alleviate existing difficulties, adding that issues cannot be resolved through protests and threats. President Ranil Wickremesinghe stated that he accepted the challenge unconditionally when some people proposed various conditions to rescue the country from its economic abyss. He expressed confidence in his ability to rebuild the economy through his experience, planned policies, commitment and capacity to garner international support. In his special address, President highlighted that during the inaugural parliamentary session on August 3, 2022, he introduced a four-pronged plan to rebuild the economy, noting the success of the first 3 points. He emphasized that this confirms the effectiveness of the implemented work plan and the chosen path. In his address, the President lauded the country's rapid progress from insolvency and debt default to financial stability in just 2 years, hailing it as an unprecedented achievement in global economic recovery. He emphasized that few nations have emerged from such dire economic circumstances in such a brief span. In his special statement, President Ranil Wickremesinghe expressed confidence that by maintaining the current trajectory that lifted Sri Lanka from the economic abyss, the country could achieve developed status by 2048. President Ranil Wickremesinghe highlighted that after 6 consecutive quarters of economic contraction, Sri Lanka's economy began to grow again from the third quarter of 2023. He also noted that the country's foreign reserves, which depleted to a critical low by April 2022, have now rebounded to $5.5 billion. President Wickremesinghe noted that the Sri Lankan rupee has strengthened, accompanied by reduced bank interest rates and inflation brought down to 0.9%. He highlighted the achievement of converting the primary account of the budget into a surplus and emphasized that for the first time since 1977, Sri Lanka achieved a surplus in its foreign account balance last year. The President noted that those who advocated for IMF intervention to resolve the country's economic crisis during Gotabaya Rajapaksa's regime now oppose it, while those who previously urged against economic development amidst hardships faced by the people now prepare to the public for austerity measures, suggesting a shift from milk tea to plain tea. In his special address, President Ranil Wickremesinghe highlighted that it took some individuals 2 years to realize the accuracy of his past actions in nation building, adding that it may take them a few more years to acknowledge the validity of his current decisions. The President emphasized that Sri Lanka had sought IMF support 16 times previously, but failed to meet the conditions and commitments each time. He noted with satisfaction that for the first time in history, he is pleased to give leadership for the successful implementation of an IMF program. In his special statement, President Wickremesinghe expressed his commitment to building a strong and disciplined developed economy in the country to ensure that Sri Lanka will never again need to seek assistance from the IMF. PMD. President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized that while some individuals tour schools and others travel the world in pursuit of power, he remains focused on launching programs that strengthen the economy, meets people's needs and garner international support for these efforts. President Wickremesinghe emphasized that the people should decide whether to move forward together with him, who comprehended the issue from the outset, provided practical solutions and achieved results, or to align with groups vying for power without a full grasp of the situation yet. The President highlighted that the people's decision will determine the fate of the country, its citizens and the future of their children, and not that too of himself.
අප සියලු දෙනා එක් වී ආර්ථිකය ශක්තිමත් කරන්න අපට විසඳුම් මෙන්ම සහනක් ලැබෙනවා. මීට අවුරුදු දෙකකට පෙර රට බාරගත් අවස්ථාවේ අපට ගමන් කරන්න තියෙන්නේ අතිශය දුෂ්කර මාර්ගයක් බව මම පෙන්වා දුන්නා. සතියෙන් දෙකෙන් මාස 3-4කින් අවුරුද්දකින් මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ විසඳන්න බැරි බව මම කිව්වා. අපට යන්න තියෙන්නේ පතුල නොපෙනෙන දරුණු ආඝාතයේ උඩින් වැටුණු වැල් පාලමේ ගමනක් බව උණු වටේ කතාවේ නාට්‍ය උදාහරණ කරගමිනි මම අවධාරණය කළා. එදා අපේ රටේ ආර්ථික අපායකට වැටිලා තිබුණේ. රට එතනින් ගලවා ගැනීමට ඉදිරිපත් වෙන්න බොහෝ දෙනෙක් මැලි වුණා. බය වුණා. නොකරන වෙදකමට කෝදුරු තෙල් අත්පට්ටයකුයි තවත් ටිකකුයි ඕන කිව්වා වගේ එක එක හේතු කිව්වා. මුළු ආණ්ඩු බලය දෙනවා නම් අප රට බාර ගන්නවා කියලා එක් පිරිසක් කිව්වා. ඇමති මණ්ඩලයට තමන්ගේ අපත් කර දෙනවා නම් බාර ගන්න කියලා තවත් පිරිසක් කිව්වා. ජනාධිපතිකම දුන්නොත් බාර ගන්නා කියලා තවත් අය කිව්වා. හැබැයි මම කිසිම කොන්දේසියක් නොමැතිව මේ අභියෝගය බාරගත්තා.
In a significant milestone for Sri Lanka's economic revitalization efforts, the nation has successfully finalized a comprehensive debt restructuring agreement with key bilateral creditors.
At the same time, Sri Lanka signed debt treatment deal in Beijing a short while ago with China Export and Import Bank to restructure $4.2 billion of debt. Today, Sri Lanka concluded negotiations with the Official Creditor Committee and China Exim Bank, marking pivotal strides towards stabilizing its financial footing amid recent economic challenges. The agreements, valued at a combined $10 billion, encompass restructuring arrangements with major bilateral lenders under the auspices of the OCC, co-chaired by Japan, India and France. Notable members of the committee include Australia, Austria, Belgium, Canada, Denmark, Germany, Hungary, Korea, the Netherlands, Russia, Spain, Sweden, the United Kingdom and the United States of America. During the recent economic downturn, Sri Lanka faced severe foreign exchange constraints, necessitating urgent measures to address its mounting external debt. Failure to restructure would have precluded Sri Lanka from accessing crucial IMF support essential for economic recovery amidst unsustainable debt levels. The IMF's Debt Sustainability Analysis (DSA) guided the restructuring process, determining necessary debt relief measures to align with Sri Lanka's fiscal recovery objectives. Each creditor, including the OCC and China Exim Bank, agreed to extend maturity periods, initiate capital grace periods and reduce interest rates significantly. These measures collectively alleviate Sri Lanka's near-term debt service obligations, freeing up resources for essential public expenditures crucial for economic stabilization and growth. This restructuring provides up to 92% relief on debt service payments during the IMF program, offering substantial fiscal breathing room crucial for prioritizing public services and stimulating economic growth, commented a senior government official. Beyond immediate fiscal benefits, the agreements paved the way for renewed bilateral financing opportunities essential for resuming critical infrastructure projects. This infusion of foreign investment is anticipated to invigorate sectors such as construction, bolstering job creation and economic resilience. Moreover, the successful restructuring sets the stage for potential improvements in Sri Lanka's credit ratings once agreements with commercial bondholders are finalized. Enhanced credit ratings are expected to reduce the cost of foreign financing and facilitate easier access to international capital markets, fostering broader economic stability and growth. Looking ahead, Sri Lanka remains committed to finalizing agreements with commercial bondholders swiftly, building on the momentum gained from these landmark restructuring deals. The concerted efforts underscore Sri Lanka's determination to navigate complex financial challenges, positioning the nation for a sustainable and robust economic recovery. Sri Lanka signed the debt treatment deal in Beijing a short while ago with China Export and Import Bank to restructure $4.2 billion of debt. The framework agreement related to this was signed between Sri Lanka and China in Colombo, Sri Lanka. In an ex-post, the Chinese embassy in Colombo said that this restructuring provides significant debt relief, allowing Sri Lanka to allocate more funds to essential public services and resume concessional financing for critical infrastructure development. The United States welcomes the news of a final agreement on debt restructuring between Sri Lanka and creditor nations reached today. U.S. Ambassador to Sri Lanka Julie Chung said, "The diplomat tweeted this afternoon that the agreement is a positive step forward in Sri Lanka's economic recovery and resilience, helping build more confidence in Sri Lanka's fiscal environment." She said that the U.S. encourages Sri Lanka to continue the reform process, adopting transparent and sustainable changes that foster long-term prosperity and growth. Minister Prasanna Ranathinga says that a clear division is visible between the people who are loyal to the country and otherwise, following the appearance of the poster titled Good News. He expressed these views at a press briefing held in Colombo regarding the current political situation of the country. Minister Prasanna Ranathinga said that with the appearance of this poster, we needed or noted a division between the people loyal to the country and otherwise. JVP and SJB leaders and their trade union leaders always create a series of strikes to disrupt the government's good actions. The president has already appointed a committee to look into the salary anomalies of the teachers. Clearly understanding that the committee will provide them a positive answer, these trade unions have started strikes with the aim of having political mileage at this juncture. The government will be able to solve the salary problem by January next year. Parliamentarian Mahinananda Aludgamage said that this is not the first time that JVP attempted to disrupt the country. During the period of war, when it was about to kill Prabhakaran, Andhra Kumar Disanaka attempted to defeat a budget that was presented to the parliament in that period. The JVP has been a coward, indecent and hypocrite political party. Now they attempt to deceive people under the name of NPP. The government will solve the salary problems of the public servants. Our party also has some problems with President Ranil Wickremesinghe. However, casting our political differences, the party has decided to support the government for the well-being of the country. President Wickremesinghe is the only leader who can handle this situation with the support of the international community.
අපි පක්ෂය තීරණ කරපු නිසා අපි තුමත් එක හිටගත්තා. මේ වෙලාවේ මේ රට ගොඩ ගන්න පුළුවන් ඒ ජාත්‍යන්තර අත්දැකීම් තියෙන ඒ පරිණතභාවයේ තියෙන ඒ සියල්ලත් එක්ක කටයුතු කරන්න පුළුවන් එකම නායකයා රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්මයා විතරයි කියලා. 2023
Minister Manoj Nanakara said that SJB and the JVP jointly carried out a series of strikes in last March when the country signed the agreement with the IMF for the first installment. They attempted to disrupt the IMF deal now that the government is gradually providing relief for the general public. At any time the country receives good news, the opposition attempts to discredit the country. Majority of the people think that Ranil is the capable leader to run the country at this moment.
In the meantime, police dispersed the teacher and principals trade union protest. March started from Colombo Fort today using water cannons and tear gas. Our correspondents say that due to the strike started by teachers and principals, activities of many schools island-wide were disrupted today. Teachers and principals started this trade union action by taking sick leave, asking solutions for several demands, including their salary anomalies. They held protests in front of the Fort Railway Station this morning. The court has also issued a prohibition order for this trade union action, as requested by the police from Colombo Fort Magistrate Court. However, as the protesters start to march towards President's office, there was heavy traffic congestion in Colombo Fort, Lotus Road and other surrounding areas. At the time, police dispersed the protesters using water cannons and tear gas. There was a severe decline of attendance in students' school attendance due to the union action. Some schools in some areas remained closed due to the strike. Students who came to school had to go back home since there were no teachers and principals in the schools. Parents expressed strong protest for not conducting schools today.
අප්‍රේල් මාසෙන් පස්සේ දරුවෙක් ඉස්කෝලේට ගිය දවසක් හරියට මතක නැහැ. ඇත්ත කතාව මේක. ඊට වඩා හොඳ ළමයි ගෙවල් වල තියාගන්න.
ඉතින් ඒ දරුවන්ගේ අනාගතයනේ විනාශ කරන්න යාලා නොදෙනුවත්වම.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized that the government is placing special focus on integrating economic and technical sectors through advancements in computer and information technology. President Wickremesinghe made these remarks during the opening of the 2024 Digicon Global Investment Conference. The conference themed Harnessing Sri Lanka's Untapped Potential aims to showcase the country's investment opportunities. The conference held today under the patronage of President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Cinnamon Grand Hotel, Colombo.
If you are looking at fast growth, then certainly the digital economy and the whole innovation is one system that we have to promote. We started with tourism and agriculture modernization. This is another fast-growing sector that have been identified. So how do we promote it? Where do we go from here? So what is it that we have? What it is that we need? Firstly, look at how we can expand this sector of the economy. What can digital economy and innovation in the field of digital technology help us? We have to identify the areas, and I must say agriculture modernization will go hand in hand with the expansion of the digital sector. We are looking at modernizing it. We are looking at smart agriculture. We are a country in which the average holding sometimes is less than 1 acre, but we are trying to hold at 2 acres, 3 acres. Look at the potential that we have there. Secondly, if you look at any sector to expand, I must say that there are 2 factors we have to think of. One is technology, utilizing your technology. Secondly, having a workforce that is capable of developing and applying that technology. And I will say a few words of what we are hoping to do. So as far as the digital economy is concerned, yes, why is it that we have identified it? Because as Mark said, there is a growing demand. But something more than that. Look at the demand that is going to come up in Asia and Africa. And where are we? We are also between 2 giants in the sector, China and India, covering both hardware and software. So within that, we have to be able to utilize that knowledge to have cooperation with these countries to go ahead. We have actually at the moment started the discussions with India with on the private sector. SLASCOM and NASCOM is already cooperating. We are also getting the help in building up our national platform, and already I think the initial discussions have started with China, and I hope it will also lead to very successful outcome. So here we are in Asia, and this is where we have to go ahead. So we have to now look at different areas, but I must also mention the port city, which we want to make in the Colombo financial zone, which will also make provision for offshore activity. So that will be another encouragement for you all to come in here and to invest in Sri Lanka. That said and done, the rest of the work I will leave. What are the enterprises? How do you use the digital technology here? Those are issues that I will leave to you.
Following the opening session, the panel discussion took place featuring participation from Chief of Presidential Staff and Senior Advisor to the President on National Security Sagna Ratnayaka, State Ministers Kanaka Herath and Dilum Amunugama. Meanwhile, President Wickremesinghe met with the global CEO of IFS, Mark Moffat, in conjunction with the conference.
National Organizer of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa, says that he is ready for any election. He made these comments at a public rally at the Kabitiko Lava electorate Balamandalaya. Parliamentarian SM Chandrasena, SM Ranjit and several other organizers organized this rally. Parliamentarian Namal Rajpaksha said that there may be certain shortcomings during the President Gotabaya Rajpaksha's rule. However, agricultural policy of this party is the policy of the former President Mahinda Rajpaksha. He said that our party wanted to rebuild the country which collapsed during the struggle. He said that if he had completed Uma Oya and Sampu power projects by 2016, there would have been no power cuts. Our party has doubts about the so-called fuel queues. Parliamentarians said that, however, Sri Lanka Posjana Peramana takes responsibility for building up the future of your children.
The Samaga Jana Balawege points out 3 compulsory matters pertaining to the debt restructuring process. These views were expressed at a press briefing held today. Samaga Jana Balawege parliamentarian Hector Apuhami said that in the process of debt restructuring, it is compulsory to slash the debt or the interest or to reduce the interest rates. Without such relief, we cannot come out of the bankruptcy. Therefore, we request the government to not spread false rumours saying the country is not bankrupt at present.
United National Party says that good news has become bad news for elements who attempt to gain political mileage by ruining the country. These views were expressed at a media briefing held in Sirikota UNP headquarters today. Chief Organizer of the UNP Court Electorate Ateniatlo, Dinesh Patidina, said that he saw a poster that appeared in many parts of the island before good news is related by the President. Some opposition parties are predicting the message as they wish. Chief Organizer of the UNP Kamrupiti electorate, Janit Wickramasinghe, said that the President signed an agreement with the IMF and carried forward the government's activities. Some opposition elements said that the government would not receive the first IMF element, but the government would have now received the third installment as well. The JP created a fear psychosis in the country that the government would fail in debt restructuring process. Now the happy news is all allergic to opposition groups.
Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that Sri Lanka is a pioneering country to provide leadership opportunities for women. He made these comments addressing the South Asian regional meeting held in Rakmalana. This has been organised by the Commonwealth Women Local Government Network and the Sri Lanka Local Government Bodies Federation. The theme of the meeting is to strengthen social endurance through women political representation. With the aim of increasing women representation in politics, the Parliamentary Special Committee on Election Reforms introduced a proposal to provide 25% representation for women and youth in local government bodies. The Prime Minister stressed that this should be further widened. General Secretary of the Commonwealth Local Government Forum, Dr. Carl Wright, Chairperson of the Commonwealth Women Local Government Network, Farzad Gibson, and a group of representatives from South Asian countries were also present at this occasion.
The 2024 National Convention and Awarding Ceremony organised by Sri Lanka Quality and Production Promotion Association was held in Colombo recently. The theme of this year is Quality, Productivity and Innovation. Over 350 teams representing 73 leading entities of production sector participated in the event. The quality administrative circles achieved by Sri Lanka's Quality and Productivity Promotion Association, interactive groups, Lean Six Kaizen, promotion concepts and related achievements were displayed at the event. The excellent achievers who were awarded with gold medals for quality, productivity and innovation will have the opportunity to take part in International Quality Circle Convention, which will be held in Sri Lanka in November. Ceylon Biscuits, Ansal Sri Lanka, Mars Holding and Haley's groups won the maximum amount of gold medals at the event. Executive Director of the Indian Quality Circles Federation, Sri Vastu, graced the occasion as the chief guest. Chief Deputy Director General of Sri Lanka Standardization Institute, Samanthi Naragoda, delivered the keynote address. We'll be back with foreign news after a short break.
Prima Kutumi, Fantamai.
Torrential storms that had brought widespread flooding to southeast China were moving inland, prompting the National Weather Service to issue its most severe rainstorm alert.
The authorities warned of further flash floods and mudslides in the coming days. According to Chinese state media, the region has been battered by heavy rainfall over the last week, causing deadly flooding and landslides that killed at least 71 people. After displacing tens of thousands of people in Guangdong, the storms had moved slightly northward to the southern Canal, central China, with footage emerging of waterlogged highways and swamped metro systems in Hunan province. China's Meteorological Administration hoisted the highest rate rainstorm signal for the first time this year.
Tinamu macang, prima kotumi fantamai.
Now on to sports news. Javelin throw national champion Dilhani Lekhamge won the gold medal of this event at the National Championship Athletic Tournament today.
Accordingly, she has come further forward in the qualification charter for the Paris Olympics 2024. Dilhani Lekhamge today recorded the skill of 55.77 meters. With this achievement, she has gained 1,157.6 points for Olympic qualification so far. She is now at the 23rd place of this list. According to the latest rankings, Dilhani Lekhamge is the top athlete in Sri Lanka at present. There is a high possibility for her to be winning or having Olympic qualification. Yupun Abekon today took part in the preliminary feat of the 100 meters men's event in the National Championship Athletic Tournament. However, he couldn't complete the event due to an injury. The visiting West Indies women's team won the second T20 cricket match against Sri Lanka's women's team by 6 wickets under the Duckworth-Lewis theory.
The match was played at Suryavava International Cricket Ground in Sri Lanka. Batting first, Sri Lanka were 89 for 4 wickets in 15.2 overs before rain disrupted the match. Accordingly, it was decided to end Sri Lanka's innings. In reply, West Indies women were given a target of 99 runs in 15 overs. They reached this target in 4 wickets in hand in 14.1 overs. Both teams have won 1 match each in the T20 series. The decisive third and final T20 match is scheduled to be played on the 28th of this month.
Tinamu macang, prima kotumi fantamai.
And that's all the news we have for tonight. Join us tomorrow at the same time for the very latest on Channel Eye. I'm Delanjali together with Owen signing off. Good night.
Good night.